call this meeting. This is our Monday, May the 11th, 26th at 3:30 is the work session for Ware County Commission. And before we start this meeting, I've asked Mr. Burse if he would to lead us in prayer.
Okay. Bow our heads. Father, in the name of Jesus, Lord, we want to say we thank you for this day, Lord, that you made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. We thank you, Lord, for just being God. And Father, we thank and praise you, oh God, for the rain that you sent, oh God, to help alleviate the fire. We ask, Lord, to look upon the inhabitants of Brantley County, those that were impacted by these fires, Father, and anyone that was impacted by the fires. And Father, we pray, God, as we deliberate the business of this county, Lord, that you will give us the right things to say, give us the right knowledge about it, and make the right decisions. And Father, we just pray, God, you will continue to be with us. We thank you for your son, Jesus, dying for our sins. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. We have a guest speaker. We have anybody that wants to come forward? If not, we're going to go to the Employee of the Month. And Ms. Teresa, would you come up, please?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Teresa.
So I am pleased to announce Scott Callahan of our Vehicle Maintenance Department as our May Employee of the Month. So if he'd like to come up to the front while I talk pretty about him. And your supervisor, Joe Meadows, if you'd like to come up too. So he was nominated by his supervisor, Joe Meadows, who is our new vehicle maintenance supervisor. And he writes, Scott consistently demonstrates dedication, professionalism, and a positive attitude. He arrives on time every day, greets everyone with a smile, and starts each morning by encouraging colleagues that today is going to be a good day. I love that. He remains calm under pressure and handles challenges with dignity and grace. Scott actively participates in our weekly safety meetings and is always eager to learn ways to make our department safer. When he goes out on a job, field staff routinely contact me to say how professional he is. Scott is exceptionally knowledgeable about county vehicles and continually seeks to expand his skills. He readily offers help to anyone who needs it, both within our department and across other county departments. On numerous occasions, he has gone out of his way to give rise to coworkers who don't even work in our department. His honesty, trustworthiness, and teamwork are evident in everything he does. Beyond his regular duties, Scott contributes ideas to improve operations and supports the county in many unseen ways, helping community members quietly and without seeking recognition. He consistently goes the extra mile to assist coworkers during work hours and after hours, and he models putting family and community first. For his reliability, positive leadership, technical expertise, and selfless teamwork, Scott Callahan is an outstanding candidate for Employee of the Month. And our voting committee thought so as well. That's why you are up here today. Would you like to say anything?
I'm all right.
Would you like to say anything further?
I would just like to say that, first of all, as being a new department head, I want to thank the commissioners, Mr. Schubert and Ms. Young, and the whole staff for welcoming me on. And thank Mr. Callahan for making the transition easy. Mr. Scott makes my job easy. Again, he's worth this, and everyone out there has bought into the new ideas, and Scott just displays it every day. And he goes above and beyond, way more than what I could say on paper, but he really deserves it.
Thank you. All right. Thank you.
So before we do this, I'd like to also state that about Scott, that the reason he's back at vehicle maintenance is because he was there just helping out when they didn't have any mechanics, and then he decided when Joe come on that he would stay, because that's just kind of a team player he is. He worked for Public Works and drove a grader.
Yes,
is that right?
That's right.
And then when they didn't have any mechanics, he came back over to fill in at the mechanic shop and the maintenance shop, and then Saturday he would stay.
Good.
And I think he's done that several times.
Yeah, we're gonna go back there and take a picture.
Oh, he checks for us, for this our last thing.
Come on up closer. Y'all move around.
John, could you stand up?
Yes, ma'am.
Go with the picture.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Y'all represent them in Hollywood. Thank y'all. Okay. Thank you, Teresa.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go on to the items on the agenda. What's this? First one is a bid award for 2026 LMIG resurfacing project.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is, we sought bids to resurface East Waring from Dorothy Street to Riverside Avenue, Terra Road from Pebble Hill Road to Dead End, and Gibbs Street and 8 Mile Post Road from city limits to Huckleberry Road. This project represents a portion of the FY 2026 LMIG funds that is to be remaining from the portion allocated to the FY 2025 CDBG project. We received 4 bids from East Coast Asphalt LLC, from Thrift Brothers LLC, East Coast Asphalt LLC in the amount of $459,455.54. Thrift Brothers LLC in the amount of $470,230.50. The Scruggs Company, $520,644.21. Curb and Gutter Professionals Incorporated, $575,920.70. Statewide has reviewed the bids for the subject project and recommends award to East Coast Asphalt in the amount of $459,455.54. I would like to say that when we approve the contract, we're gonna change Gibbs Street, and it still will be, it will be 8 Mile Post Road and Gibbs Street, but instead of starting at the city limits and working out, we're gonna start at Old Shop Road and work in 1.7 miles, and that won't change the cost at all, but we made a mistake and we flipped it. And the actual, the Old Shop Road at the end is in better, is in worse shape than the city end, the Gibbs Street end, so.
Right. Or from the city limits out, it's already been resurfaced. So
Right.
it's, they just caught the wrong end of it. Okay. Y'all got any discussion?
Well, the only thing, just for point of clarification and for the public, that Gibbs Street and the 8 Mile Post Road are the same road. It's
Yes.
just when it gets to
Yeah,
a
it
certain
just
point, the name
changes.
changes, so it's not 2 separate roads, it's one,
Changes in the middle of the curve.
in the
That's
middle of
right.
the curve.
That's correct.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I hear a motion that we accept the bid.
This is.
Oh, this is just moving to the agenda.
That's right, I carried over that. Okay, is there any more discussion on it? I'm sorry. So you gonna take care of that then, so you already talked to the engineer on changing that in?
Yes, sir, I spoke to the engineer, and I'm just gonna get him to send me a change order, so we all acknowledge that that's
Okay.
what we need to do, so we don't mix it up.
All right. All right, let's carry it over. Okay, B, bid award for 2025 Safety Action Plan, approximately 63 miles of road striping.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. This is a request to approve the bids for the safety action plan for road striping and signage. We received 3 bids, one from NPR South LLC in the amount of $427,542.99. Peak pavement markings in the amount of $494,724.75. TRP Construction Group, $655,445.60. The lowest and responsible bidder is NPR South LLC, and their bid exceeded the total allocated project budget by $18,331.99. However, we had a change order because of the second round LMIG or the LRA LMIG, which is Beach Road and Lucy Moore. Right. We took those roads off this resurfacing project and added Zion Hill and
Is that Needham? No, that's
and we
Griffin
added
Road.
South Plant Avenue and portion
South
of Griffin
Plant
Road
Avenue.
that was done
Yeah.
a couple years ago.
Right.
That was never striped.
Never was striped.
And so that brought the total price down to $409,900.93, which is only $689.93 over budget. So we recommend that we approve this bid and then approve the change order that's with it. So.
Okay. Y'all got any discussion on it?
Well, Mr. Chairman, again, just for the public edification, this is a grant that we received in the amount of $372,000, and all we had to do from the county standpoint was match it 10%. So basically, we're getting all the striping done at a cost of about $37,000 from the county's coffers.
Right, and signage.
And signage.
And some signage.
Right.
Okay. Any more?
No.
We'll move it over? Yes. All right. I'm glad you added those other little roads there, that Zion Hill and all that. That was good move. Okay. We got a, request for proposal award for audit services.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. We sought proposals for auditing services for the county. We received 3 proposals, one from Carr, Riggs and Ingram, CRI, in the amount of $325,815. Model and Jenkins, $334,000. McNair, McClemore, Middlebrooks and Company for $388,200. After review of the proposals submitted, we recommend that we go with Carr, Riggs and Ingram an amount of $325,815 for the 4-year term, including a single audit that they have to do.
All right, any discussion on that? Anybody got anything?
Yeah, and that's our current auditor as well.
Is that,
That's our current auditor.
current auditor?
Yeah. Mr. Chairman. And
Go ahead.
Ms. Beverly, which I talked about earlier. Now, we've had this same firm for since 2012, I believe it is. And I don't know if it's anything in our, ordinances, anything about rotation of auditors and things. I know it, when I was on the city council, it was, I think, like 5 years or something like that. And it's not saying that they're doing a bad job, but sometimes it's just a rotation. You rotate them out, and then they'll sit out maybe for a whole round, and then maybe the next time they can get the bid back on it. So, like I said, they've been doing it since 2012, Beverly? And which I know the other one was just a little bit more, but I just think that's something we need to consider.
Right.
How long they been at it?
Since
12?
2012, 14 years.
14 years.
I looked at all 3 of these companies on their record after the price, and my concern was late audits. So I wanted one to stick out more than the other as far as getting audits done in a timely manner because of grant funding. If we don't get those audits done in a timely manner, then we could lose grant funding. but all of them across the board were just about the same.
Yeah.
If you get a late audit, you don't know what kind of help was going on at the county level to get them the information and the turnover, and they all had a record about the same when I researched them. So the cost with Carr, Riggs and Ingram, they gave us a cost for a second audit, single audit. We have to have a single audit, which is in addition to our audited funds already, if we get grant money over $1 million. Well, we usually have two, at least two. The last few years we've had two of those. And you have to pay for that second audit, single audit. Carr, Riggs and Ingram gave a hard number. The other two, the Malden and Jenkins, they just said we would discuss that when we got to it, which scares me. You don't know how much that's gonna be at all. And then the last one, Mecklemore, they gave a higher rate. So it is a best practice to change ever so often, but I also looked at the history of all of them with their references, and one of Carr, Riggs and Ingram has had Tift County, I think, since '04. So I looked at that as well. So I'm basing my recommendation off of the cost.
Mr. Chairman, I got a question. Are you satisfied with Carr, Riggs and Ingram?
Yes, sir.
They've been doing a good job so far?
Compared to what I saw from some of the others in the histories I looked at, they're all about the same.
Okay.
We do have some late audits. We've had late audits consistently, and there's always some excuse for it. But looking at the other counties, we're not the only county that does that.
Okay, well, I think if you're the one that's gonna have to work with them, and so we're relying on, I guess, your input on this.
Well, I tried. I really thought I could find a better option than what we already had. But looking at all of them across the board, I still think CRI is the better option.
Okay.
Move it over.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. You'll recommend move it over then?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Move it over. Okay, surplus items, office phones. We changed out a bunch of office phones. Is that correct?
Yeah, yes, sir. We moved to a different carrier, Access ATC, from AT&T to Access ATC. If I don't mind, Mr. Chair, I'll let Carlos
If
come
Carlos-
up, maybe kind
Carlos
of give an
come up.
overview
Explain it to us.
of, you know, kind of why we did that and what we'll be saving roughly. I know you don't have an exact figure, but roughly.
All right, so commissioners, how y'all doing, and chairman?
Good.
So what we did is we implemented a new phone system throughout the whole county, changing out all phones, and then what we did is we're collecting all the old phones to then surplus them. Moving to the new phone system, we were looking at saving based on having multiple providers, getting it down to one provider, so we'd have one bill and be able to consolidate all the costs that we were paying to these multiple providers down to one provider. So we've done that, and then we are estimating about, I'll let Beverly kind of do an estimated cost. I think it was about $2,000 a month. So we're looking at about $20,000 a year, the saving cost from what we would have been paying if we would have stayed on the old system.
Okay.
Very
I
good.
want
Carlos,
to say
did-
that number is a little more, because I think that might have been one portion of it. When the phone system, the current one that we're using, we're getting rid of, was implemented, it wasn't done correctly. So instead of an AT&T bill going away, you still had an AT&T bill, which will go away with this change. That's why we've waited so long to do it. We've been trying to keep our own numbers, and AT&T wouldn't work with us. So we finally decided
Yeah, so
What happens if we get new numbers and just turn all that off now? We want to get out from under that. And that estimated cost savings, that's probably more, because we did that probably 2 or 3 years ago, and AT&T has done nothing but went up. So when we changed to what was implemented when Derek was here, the old IT, we ended up with AT&T, Cox Telephone, and another service. So we were paying 3 different phone bills for service that was supposed to be going down in cost. And we have been trying to get it fixed. And now these phones that were installed then, they're outdated. So, but we look forward to saving a lot more money in our future.
I know at one time y'all told us there was a lot of, if I'm, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Burstead, said something about some lines that was
Yeah.
hooked up that
We were paying for.
we're paying for and wasn't using.
So that, when we did a
Did
cost
y'all
study.
stop a lot of that?
So when we did a cost study, we did find a lot of lines that were inactive, that were not being utilized. So in this process of trying to get AT&T to help us move these lines, our old numbers over to get ported, we were gonna disconnect everything at that one time. Well, since AT&T did not help us out to get the numbers moved over, and Spencer worked on this for about a year, trying to get them to move the numbers over to and split them off and everything, and it just didn't work out. So we didn't want to continue going on through that process of waiting for AT&T to try to move these numbers off. So we finally said, okay, well, what's the next option to do? And so what we had to do is change the numbers. And I know that's been a headache for a lot of departments, changing the numbers, but there was no other option, or else we would have sit here probably another 2 to 3 years trying to get this project moving forward, and we just didn't want to incur the cost of doing that. But yes, to answer your question, eventually we will disconnect lines that were inactive and save money that way too.
But now, between Carlos and Spencer and myself, we have whittled that down. Carlos has turned a lot of things off that through the years seems like maybe the state added this for a department and they were supposed to keep, and then the state done away with that, but no one turned the phone off or no one turned that service off. So there was a lot of investigative work that went into this to get us to this point.
And so the cost savings from what we've already turned off, I don't know what that is, but if we looked at it, it's probably gonna be a couple of $1,000s that we've already been saving for the past year, that we've disconnected services that we've had.
Okay.
Our initial bill with the new service provider, even with their installation costs, is less than half what we were paying AT&T.
And that's just AT&T.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
It's a lot.
I got a question.
Okay, go ahead.
So the departments are gonna get new phone numbers? Is that what you're saying?
So that, we've already put everything in place and they already have new phone numbers.
Okay, we need to put it in a newspaper, so I've been getting calls about people can't get a hold of nobody.
Yeah,
And it's,
I've got some of those.
So
and one of them is the
It's
planning
on-
department.
It's in a huge banner ad on the front of the website, and then we've also posted it, it's pinned to the top of our Facebook page too.
I know that what you're saying, we
Yeah,
need to
yeah,
put
they-
more out there, more into the.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't have,
Yeah.
Facebook and stuff like that,
Yeah.
there, you know, and I've been getting calls from people just can't get a hold of nobody, and I tried to explain, you know, I thought they changed the number.
And one way that they may be getting, the numbers that they're looking at, the old numbers, is through the phone book, so we need to look at that too.
Yeah,
We haven't, looked at that piece of it to
Yeah.
change all of that, and if they're doing searches through Google, they're probably getting the old information, which we need to look at a way to, get that changed
yeah,
out.
okay.
as
We
well.
we can run an ad in the paper, what the new number will be, main number.
Yeah,
That they can call
and
and-
get me a list of them, cause I get about 10 calls a day, and it
Okay.
would help me out.
Yeah, I've had some of those calls myself.
The
Only
287-4300 number,
The planning department's not on there.
They are.
They
They
are.
are now?
At the bottom, I did all the recordings.
They wasn't the other day, cause I tried to call them and couldn't, I
Unless,
finally,
and I don't know how it's routed, but they're listed.
yeah, everything was on there except the planning department, and it was not on there.
It's funny you mentioned that, if I may, Mr. Chairman,
Yeah, go ahead.
because I called the plan, talked to Dustin about something this morning, and when I called, like I say, it just kept ringing. But then when you call, just like I called Miss Sharon's number, the receptionist, call that number, then I think Melinda, you the one that's doing the numbers on there, or someone
No,
sound
they're
like
doing
it.
all the numbers, I just.
Okay, but anyway, it goes on there and it tell you like commission office, 1. But if you hit 1, then it'll start telling you what, it'll have the code department on there.
And we've talked
Yeah.
about changing that for commission office and administration building.
That's
Yeah, but
probably what I did, I didn't hit one, I probably wasn't following directions.
Well,
like
what I'm
supposed
saying, it didn't really, I just happened to hit 1 for the commission office, but it does need the rest of the departments are on there. And I wonder why they don't have the code department on
Yeah.
here. So when I went through there and just went through the commission, that's where I got the code department's number.
So what we did to make the menu not so long and to make the message so that people don't have to sit there and listen to a long auto attendant is we kind of cut it down and we made like the departments for this admin building, we put it under kind of like one option with all the departments that's in the building.
Right.
So we probably called it administration and people just don't understand what that means when they hear option 1 for administration. Because they're like, no. So we probably need to change that, but that's stuff that we need to know so that we can adjust it to make it easier for the public to understand.
Option 1 is commission office, but something else that's going on is I'm starting to get clerk of court calls. They're hitting 1 for commission, and then here in the county, and I hear the word clerk. So I've had people ask about divorce court, getting copies of their deeds, and several other things like that, and I can't help them, I just give them the number. I have to look it up. They're just clicking the first thing they hear, so I thought about re-recording and saying for the court system, including,
And we
court
knew
documents and.
there were gonna be
passports,
some
that's what some of them
hiccups
were.
and some things we'd have to work out.
Yeah.
But to get out from under AT&T, this was our
Have to.
final resort to get out from under all that stuff we were paying.
Yeah, we were just looking at, cost savings, plus we worked as a team to implement the whole auto attendant and everything, so we kind of worked through that, and I kind of put it all together so that we could look at it as, under the courts, you get to all the courts. If you're calling the road department or vehicle maintenance or certain other ones, we kind of spelled them out in the auto attendant, so you know exactly what option to select when it gets to that. But we kind of, some of them probably need to be reworded for the public to understand a little bit better, but and getting the information out to the public is one thing that we need to work on as well.
I think, just like you were saying about the, going on the website, doing it on there, and also, it may not hurt if just had something printed out on paper, for people like when they come to the meeting, if they want to get one.
Right.
And, maybe like even like the tax assessor office, just something, ask them, do you call the county for much? Ask the individual that, and if they say, well, yeah, say, well, this is a new phone system, and this is the new number.
Because each department does have its own main number, so regardless of the main number that we made for the auto attendant, which was the actual commission number that everybody knew about, we made it that because that was the only number that got ported over to a system that we could move that one particular number over. And since we knew everybody knew that, we made that the auto attendant number because it made the best sense to make that the option. But we also have independent numbers for each department, so we can print that list out, and like you say, and have it available for the public.
And Carlos, aren't the majority of those, the last 4 digits are the same, you just changed 287 to 490?
So most of if you, ones that have worked here before and you know what your extension was in your department at that time, all we changed was the 287 and it's 490 now.
But the only number that got ported was the 287-4300.
Right.
So that's the number that's been out there forever and ever and ever. That's the number everybody calls.
And
To get this
all the
attendant.
numbers have been updated on the website, and a lot of times, for the court system, it's a little bit different. Normally, our website is the first search result, so it should direct them to the correct place. I know for the court system, there's some fiddly things with people who have separate offices and things, that sometimes it'll return theirs instead. But for the most part, they're accessible.
And I probably need to get with the court over there too, because a lot of them have their own websites and they probably haven't updated them. So I need to go and meet with them again, because I didn't even think of that, is to go over there and tell them they need to update their website. So probably people are going to that and they see the old number and it's
There's
just
also a lot
bringing.
of state directories that are just like listings of court services in an area, and unless you submit your information, the state doesn't update them by themselves, so.
We're just gonna suffer a little bit of growing pains for a
Yeah,
little
well,
bit.
That's normal. Y'all just keep on polishing and it'll be like a brand new
That's
Corvette.
right, that's right. But we're talking
It's
about
in good
the
hands.
phones that we are surplusing.
So the phones that were surplused, they're antiquated, they're out of date, they're proprietary, they only work with certain systems. So at this point, we're gonna try to surplus them, we're gonna try to sell them if we can. If anybody wants them, they're more than welcome to call us and, we'll have them ready for you. But
Okay.
Put them in a box, put them on gov deals.
That's what I said.
Hey, okay, thank y'all.
Thank y'all. Thank you, Carlos.
Okay. So we're just gonna put them up, put them on good deal.
Just move it over.
Is that what y'all wanna do? Okay, let's move it over then. All right, Iron Bridge landfill water monitoring service contract.
This is
They
a,
give us a report on that pretty
Sir?
often, that.
So-
We always get a good report on that monitoring.
yeah, they give us two, this is for the, semi-annual reports, and they give us 2 reports a year for the water. And they've been doing that every year, as far as I know.
It's always pretty much been a good report. I mean, we don't have any problem with any of our water or nothing, do we?
Not that I'm aware of. I did talk with the engineer, about some testing and about one, I don't know if it's one well or something. He said one is 1 point above the allowable limit. I can't remember what it was for, what element or whatever. Cause I was talking to him about closure. Next year is our 30-year mark.
Yeah.
And I was trying to talk to him about closure, and then he said, well, as long as we're that 1 point above, he said we won't be able to,
No, you won't
close
be able
it.
to close it.
So,
But you don't know what contaminant it is?
I can't remember,
Vinyl chloride or
what's that?
vinyl chloride?
I think that's what he said. But I can't swear to it.
Is that a bad one, John, or a good one?
I mean, ain't none of them good, so.
Ain't none of them good.
That's why they're on the list.
Yeah, so like whatever it is, the, allowable limit is what, 3 million, 3 parts per million or something, and I think we're at a 4, but it's been like that for years as far as I know. So I asked him, what can we do to try to fix it? And he said, well, let me look at y'all's closure, and so I haven't heard back on that part as yet, so.
Okay.
But this is proposal for those 2, semi-annual reports, and the, total is at 10,500.
Now, this is just for taking the analytical data
Yes.
and the water levels and doing the geotechnical work and doing the report that we send to the state.
This is just the 2 annuals, it's not the
Right.
quarterly reports. So we
Right.
do quarterly reports, water reports, and methane monitoring reports as well.
Right, quarterly is for your methane and your just groundwater levels, but this
Right.
is for your semi-annual reports that you submit.
Right.
Right.
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead.
I was talking with James about this, but I said, John come across my mind, and what I asked him was, how long would we have to, do you have to continue this? Is it in the perpetuity or?
As long as we get a bad report, we'll
grave.
keep it.
Cradle to the grave?
I mean, even once they close it, we're still responsible for it.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're always gonna have it. That's the beauty of a landfill. You always own it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so, and they call it a 30-year closure, and at the end of the day, I don't know that you actually ever really close one, so.
I don't think you ever get out from under it.
And it's probably good if you keep the monitoring going, but just because if you, a problem that you know early.
It's required to by engineering.
Oh, yeah.
For 30 years at least.
It is, but they still don't have we've got a local neighboring county that they're past their 30-year mark and they're still having to do it. And I think the state guy told them they really don't have a way to.
2 neighboring counties that are in the same position.
It's like John said, from the cradle to the grave, it just.
Yep.
We just hope we don't have to dig it all up and haul it all.
Yeah.
Good job.
Okay, let's move out and over. All right, Recreation Department. Select concept 1 or concept 2 on that
And they-
pickleball.
That's what.
Y'all
they
got
started.
that right here. Oh, y'all got that concept 1 and 2. So, recommend 1, is that correct?
Last year. Sir?
We're probably gonna recommend 1, it's gonna be the,
Well, hey, Lance is here. You want him-
That's what we, last night discussed, and what we recommend is concept 1. This is the result of the, contract that you guys entered in with Lowe's Design, to update our master plan. And, after reviewing, at least for the pickleball courts, in concept 1, the pickleball courts will be right off Wadley Road. And so we recommend that, but I'll ask Lance too, if he wants to come up and add any details to it.
Lance here, yeah, Lance, you come up.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman.
Good evening, Lance.
Concept 1 and 2, that's laid out before you. One of the top reasons I mentioned earlier, as we went through the selection with Lawson Design, is doing the concept that going down on Watley Road is where our sewer line is. And by that being said, with bathroom, restrooms going in over on that side, which leads off of my maintenance shop, it would be a lot cheaper for us to stay on that side and to build on in, as opposed to on concept 2, the pickleball court would be off a meter. So we feel this as if concept 1 would be ideal for us to proceed with.
Is that gonna be for 4 courts?
It's gonna be 8 courts.
8, it'll be 8 courts total. Okay,
Yes, it's 4 courts on each side.
4, okay. Y'all got anything?
And this plan is, some future plans that we have that's in place, and they could be changed at any point throughout, but with us going through this plan, it was best for us to go ahead and try to get the most bang for our buck for the future planning for Ware County Recreation Department.
Yeah, I remember when we started talking about that sewer line, how if we could get things back over that way, it'd make it a whole lot easier
Better, yeah.
to deal with, instead of trying to go on the other side over there.
Yeah.
And that pickleball, that's up and coming. I mean,
It is.
That's the latest phase of craze or whatever you want to call it. Okay.
I think the chairman's gonna be the first one to get out there when we get that.
Yeah, they want to get that thing started, ain't they? Okay.
Yeah.
Second, we just received the letter for the bid, and so we'll be starting that process. We have to have it submitted first part in August. I just received mine by mail on today, so.
Now that's for that grant.
That's the grant, yes.
And how much is it? 100 and?
It's a matching grant.
Okay.
Matching
No,
grant.
up to, I think it's $1 million.
Up to where?
It's up to $1 million.
Okay.
Up to $1 million.
Yeah, but it's a match,
Okay.
Okay.
Equal match.
equal match, yeah.
We like them 10%,
That'd be great.
So,
Mr.
okay,
Chairman, I would also add that we did, State Representative Burchett, James Burchett, was able to secure us $50,000 towards this project as well. So we just gotta send the invoice and call them and see how we gotta do about securing that funds. Get those here.
okay.
All right.
So the grant was approved then?
No, not, that's two separate
Oh, okay.
funding sources.
Second. Okay. Okay, all right, anything else? Anybody got anything else?
I just rise up there. I know we got the pickleball courts, and then, like I said, it's in the future right here, future concept plan, and you got, I think something like a pavilion or something like that, which is listed on here, the different thing, like number 2, which is a recreation center, that's in the future, right? Or
Yes,
that's,
sir.
okay,
Yes, could be in the future.
Okay.
As, just a little on that, as you know now, every year we're having to use the school system to, play our basketball out. Our gym is at capacity every day, and so with future planning, that would be, right now, I think it's 6 courts in there that would give us volleyball.
Okay.
and then you have an aquatic pool, facility out there.
Yes.
Now is that gonna be enclosed, that open,
That's always up to discussion, but not the current planning for that is to be open.
okay,
In the future, we can always, I can get with him and say, hey, 5-6 years down the line, we may want to get it closed in. Let's make sure we have that kind of figured in as well. So.
Okay.
all right.
All right, any more questions for Lance?
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Lance. We moved over. All right, Hazard Mitigation Grant Program Recipient Agreement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a, agreement that we have to sign and send back for the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program update. And the grant will fund the update of the Ware County Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan to ensure compliance with federal requirements outlined in the Disaster Mitigation Act of 2000. Total approved project cost is $49,857. And the breakdown is federal share is $39,855.60. State share is $6,225.90. Local share is $6,238.35. And then this is an added fee that I think is for this year is a sub-recipient management cost of $2,492.85. So this is we are the sub-recipient of this grant. This is what we have to have in place, and to use these funds to update our 5-year plan. And I'll ask Brian if he's back here, if he wants to come up and comment or on this. But I will say that usually in the past, the Regional Commission has completed this grant for us, or the paperwork and done the plan for us. And I think this is the plan that we get to use some in-kind services for some of those fees, if I'm not mistaken. So if we get like our different departments to go to the meetings, then they get credit for their salary while they're at the meetings to go towards our fees.
Yes, sir, that's basically, as the manager stated, afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. I can't really add any more to it than what the manager has said there. Reading through this thing and getting my feet wet with all of this new program stuff. It's basically a continuation of what we have done in the past. And we work to get all the credits that we can towards this. And then it works towards our hazard mitigation with things like Helene, with the fires like they've had in Brantley County. This helps us mitigate that process. It's just a renewal basically of the same plan that we've had in place in the past.
So it only cost us $87.31.
Yes, sir.
County.
Yes, sir.
And then hopefully we'll get most of that in-kind services with departments going and attending those meetings when they're updating the plans. We're having meetings at Southern Georgia Regional Commission, and those are a couple hours long, I guess, a couple hours long. So
Usually 2 to 4 hours.
Yeah, every employee that we have there, we get in-kind credit for their salary.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right, thank you. Brian.
Carry it over.
Let's move it over.
Yep.
Okay, extend the contract with Crowder Golf for 1 year.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. This is a request to extend our contract with Crowder Golf for 1 year. Last year, the commission approved a contract with Crowder Golf for disaster-related debris removal services. And that contract was for 1 year, and the option to renew for 4 additional 1-year periods at 1 year in 1 year increments. So we have to do it every year for 4 years, or it'd be a total of 5 years. This is not, there's no funds involved unless we have a disaster and then they're activated.
But
If they're not
then we
activated-
have to use him regardless. If we found somebody cheaper, we still gotta use him. We
They
agreed to.
won the bid last year for it, so, and the commission approved the bid for it last year. So we had 4 or 5 that bid it on.
But he
5
just
that
wanted
bid
to
on last
extend
year.
it for another year.
Yes, sir. That's what the contract was for.
So I guess what you saying, do we still bid it out?
It sound like to me you should bid it out. If
So
somebody
we-
else might wanna bid
We
for the
did, we
next
bid it
year.
out last year for for a 5-year contract, for a 1-year contract, the option to renew for 4 years annually. That's
So
what
he
the
gave us
contract-
one for 5 years on, is that what it said?
So
That's what we approved?
this,
Okay.
the
I
price
thought
is
we
for
did 1
5-year, a guaranteed 5-year, guarantee on the price, but we have to renew it every year.
Okay.
Is what it
Okay.
is.
And that's for 4 years. We have to renew it for 4 years.
Right, yes. sir.
He
So
can
it's total
renew
of
it,
5
or
years.
either he can get out or we can get out.
Right.
Okay.
But he can't go up on the price in those 4 years.
The prices are locked in.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, you don't need to up his prices.
Hopefully we won't need them.
Any more
That's
discussion on that? All right, let's move it over. Extend the contract with Thompson for the disaster cleanup monitoring for 1 year. That's the same deal.
It's the same deal, it's just to monitor everything that they haul.
He said, they better
And
take
they're
pictures.
required to have 2 different companies.
Okay, so you answered my question about that. Do we have to have this monitoring?
Right, yes, sir.
Yeah, he's got, sets up there on a big ladder, you know, takes a picture of all that.
Make sure.
Okay,
Move it over.
any more discussion on it? All right, carry it over. J, appointment to the Land Bank Authority.
Thank you, Mr.
We had a
Chairman.
letter from one of them.
So Mr. Mark Hawkins sent me an email, stating that Commissioner William Simmons, City Commissioner William Simmons, who was on the Land Bank Authority, which was appointed by the county commission, his plate's too full and he had to, remove himself from the Land Bank Authority. His term, he's in post 7 and his term will expire December 31st, 2028. So this is and really it's not a request to move on the agenda today unless you have someone. This is just something for you to for the commission to pick, think about who you can select or who you want to put on there and then move forward. So if you don't have anybody today, then, it's just to get you to think about it, so.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman,
Yep.
I talked with Mark today about this and, get clarification. And it is a county appointment, a county commission appointment, but it can be anybody staying in the city resident or county resident. And so I asked, had anyone voiced any, aspiration to be on that land bank, and he said at the time he didn't have anyone that had, so it's kind of left up to us now. If we got someone that wants to, be on there, they will fill that unexpired term. But they have to be a resident of Ware County.
Right. So it was just
Okay.
something to get you thinking of maybe finding someone to be on that board.
we'll carry it over.
So, you don't, Mr. Chairman, you don't have to carry it over unless you have a name.
Just hunt somebody.
Just hunt somebody to put on it.
Probably just need to wait till next meeting, at the minimum,
Right.
Come up with somebody.
and have somebody on it.
Okay.
So we don't have to carry this one over.
Try to get us somebody that wants to serve on it. Okay. All righty, is that all?
I think that's
That is it.
Yes, sir.
The manager's comment? You got
Yes,
anything?
I have a few. I just proud to announce, I don't know if it's been deposited yet, but the TIA 1 distributions related to surplus collections that we should receive, we've not received, an additional $979,703.56 in surplus funds for TIA.
And that money has been received.
And we have received it, so,
Done, received it.
yes. And if Billy was here, if I'd like to ask Billy if he would come up and just advise the commission that we're now not under consent order, is that what?
Yes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I came before y'all probably in 2022 or 3 with the consent order that the county had to agree to with the state of Georgia. And we've been waiting and working through this, and about 6 or 8 months ago, we actually were released, but we have been waiting on a letter from the Department of Revenue for 6 or 8 months to basically acknowledge that we have met all the criteria that we needed to be able to have the consent order lifted. So basically just kind of wanted to come to y'all today, provided that I think that the chairman got a copy, the tax commissioner, and we got a copy, and I think the manager got a copy. And we just kind of wanted to, once we got the letter, we'd let you know where we were with that. That was on residential properties that we had ran into some issues with. So we'll do another review. They will in 2027. They've already done one. We had to do the extension, the 1-year extension that we did when we were doing the reevaluation, and they did that. And of course, at the time they did that, all of our numbers were locked because we were doing the middle of the reevaluation. So we'll receive another report from them probably in March of 27, which will be for this tax digest, which the notices of assessment will be going out for this year. So this digest will be reviewed and we'll see where we are there. But that's basically what we had.
Okay.
So we're from under the gun right now.
We're out from under the gun temporarily.
I hope we stay from under the gun too.
We hope so. We hope so. But I don't have anything else.
Appreciate everything you're doing, Billy.
Questions for him?
Thank y'all. Y'all have a good afternoon.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Billy. All right, you got anything else?
That's all I have.
Commission comment?
Mr. Chairman, I got a couple of things. I'd just like to give a shout out to our state representative, Jane Burchett, for acquiring the $50,000 grant, for the rec department. And I just want to thank him for that. And also, since John Ossoff, he was able to acquire $92,000 for satellite advocacy, and I think that was great. And it's going for, the services will be used for federal funding to outfit 5 forensic interview rooms with digital video and audio recording equipment. And this will help ensure that service providers and the law enforcement have access to comprehensive, reliable, and time-stamped record of a survivor's testimony and support efforts to prevent further domestic violent crimes. So I think that's great for both of those individuals.
Okay.
That's all.
All right, any more comments from the commission? Okay, we're gonna adjourn this work session and then we'll come back for the regular meeting. I hear a motion to adjourn this work session.
Public hearing.
Public hearing, we got 2 public
Then we
hearings.
got a public hearing right after this.
4:30. Yeah, we actually have 3 public hearings. We'll have one for your comprehensive plan and then 2 other items.
Right. Okay, we can come right back. Let's see,
We need
what's
to
the
vote
public hearing?
first.
What time you got on it?
4:30.
4:30?
Yeah.
Okay, we come out and it's about that time. Y'all, we need a little break?
We need a motion and a second. Let's go
Yeah.
first.
Y'all need a
move
break
we,
on it or
I
not?
move we adjourn this, work session.
I second it.
Okay, there's a motion in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Meeting adjourned.
We're gonna take a break, we're gonna
We're
move right
gonna-
on into it.
Let's take you need any time?
I don't, but y'all.
You don't need one for the hearing? Then we'll need
We're
something
ready
between
for
the hearing.
Yes,
Okay.
and
Let's
Marcus
move.
is
Well, we
here.
can go into the hearings right now if y'all want to. Let's go right on into the hearing.
It's
okay.
4:30, it's 4:32, right?
We'll go into the hearing without a break then, okay? Let's do the, public hearing and call to order, and, we're gonna continue. This is a hearing for the Southern Georgia Regional Commission to present the, that's all you got on there.
The comprehensive plan.
Have you gone? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, this is a public hearing for the Southern Georgia Regional Commission to present the comprehensive plan that they've been working on with stakeholders, holders, and, for the last several months. And
All you
Mr.
had on
Marcus
here
is
was
here
just,
to present that.
Okay.
I got a sign sheet, pass that around. And here's a copy of the draft that we're gonna, send up to DCA. We've been working on this for quite some time now. I think I started late July of last year, and we met for the first time, I think, in September of last year, if I remember correctly. But, each county is required to update their comprehensive plan every 5 years. Most counties in our region, the 18-county region, do that through our office at the Southern Georgia Regional Commission. We've had at least 5 meetings. You're required to have 3. It took a little more to get some of y'all stuff taken care of than, well, y'all are one of the larger population counties in our region, so that's part of it. But the biggest updates in that comprehensive plan is updating your work program. Your work program, you guys had completed a lot of things, and there's some things that carry over, and then we put some new items in there. I know we talked a lot about in some of the meetings that you had about, some transportation stuff, and y'all had a transportation study that was done, and we talked about that in the comprehensive plan in the written part. There's 2 different work programs in there. There's one for the city of Waycross and one for Ware County. But it's one large document, about 127 pages there I've been working on. But this public hearing is just to let everybody know that portion is completed, and then you guys will vote to allow me or the Southern Georgia Regional Commission to send it up to DCA to be reviewed. Generally, what they do is they take it, they review it, they suggest some changes. We never get them back where there's no changes. But there'll probably be some subtle changes or things that they think we should improve upon in doing your process. But it'll go up, and hopefully we get it up to by the time I leave office tomorrow. If not, it'll be the next day or so. And generally they get it back to us pretty quickly, but they have to give them at least 30 to 60 day turnaround. And you guys are up at the end of June. So this is giving us plenty of time, I think, to get it back and get the changes made and get y'all approved for this time to make sure you still have all you're eligible for all grants and everything statewide. Any questions for me?
This plan is required to get any of those grants that we've been getting. We have to have this plan has to be completed and updated every 5 years. So, and we partner with the city of Waycross. It's a joint comprehensive plan. And we've been doing this with Southern Georgia Regional Commission for several years. They've always created a great plan or a good plan for us. Also, the state requires them to do a couple elements for free. So that's why we use them. We use the independent to be a lot higher.
Yes.
But no, they do a great plan for us, and you know, without this, it's kind of like that. Without the audit, if you don't have the audit, you don't have this plan, you don't get a grant. So this $3.123 million we get in LMIGs, we wouldn't be able to get it. So
one is contingent on the other.
it is, yeah. I mean, first thing they look for when you apply for a grant is, are you qualified? Which means, do you have that, and is your audit complete? First two things they look for. That's for CDBGs or anything. So.
Okay. Any more in support of it? Does this tell, is it in there about all of the projects that are gonna happen in the future
It
with
has,
the regional?
yes, sir.
It's all in that report too?
So you have a 5-year plan, and then you have a 10-year plan. Your work program is a 5-year, and then you've got other goals that are 10-year goals.
We had something the other
Some of
day
those are in
on
there.
tier 1 or 2 that come out, is how many projects were gonna happen this year.
So
Is
no,
that-
that's not based on this plan. That's a
That's not
whole,
on-
that's a
on-
transportation by itself. But those
So this is not-
items should be in this plan. So, and I haven't had a chance to review it, but those items should be in this plan. If
The
they're,
transportation won't be in it.
yeah, they have transportation projects in here.
There's a transportation element in there, and if there's anything that I don't have in there, then I can easily add those two before we transfer.
Okay. Most people wanna know when what they're gonna do about on the roads and stuff.
Well, that element's in here, and we can look and see if the TIA projects are included on total. But this is actually a separate project than the TIA stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, if I'm missing any TIA projects, we can definitely add those in there. Which I should have, if I didn't, that's something that's on me, but we can go back and add it in there if they're missing.
I'll compare it.
Okay. Y'all got any questions for me?
No, appreciate everything.
All right, anybody oppose it? Have any opposition on it? Okay, let's carry that over.
Thank you, Marcus.
All right, we'll go on to the next one. Road, a public hearing for road closing and abandoning Roscoe Mixon Road in Ware area. We done got the new road built, haven't we?
Right, it's built, and, so we're ready to close this one and
Okay.
swap the lands. Or deed this land back to the church.
Come on up, Dustin, tell us about it.
I was just gonna say, I've got it pulled up here on the map showing you the general area. Like you said, this is just about that land swap for that.
Okay.
This one.
Everything's been completed on that road, ain't it, and been turned over to them?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, you and I went and looked at it after the road department finished it, so.
But all the deeds and everything is
They've
completed now.
They've deeded the property to us for the new road. We have to close and abandon this one to deed the property to them for the old road.
Okay.
So that's what we're really just cutting the red tape and closing this project out.
Okay. All right, that all?
Yes.
Got any questions? Anybody?
No.
Any oppose it? Not, let's carry it over. So we'll go to the next one. Got a public hearing for rezoning request for 2401 Adams Street from R75 mobile home residential manufactured homes to A1 agricultural forestry. Who's up? Dustin, you gonna tell us about that?
Yes, sir. Sorry, I was just trying to go ahead and pull it up on the screen for you.
Okay.
So this is a request that was made by Amanda Raleigh. She lives at 2401 Adams Street. This is a request to rezone from R75 MH residential manufactured homes to A1 agriculture forestry. She was requesting this for the purpose of keeping animals on the property, namely poultry, chickens, ducks, etc. The size of the property is approximately 1.01 acres. To the north of it, you've got residential and some pecan orchards, and that's going to be R90, R75 MH, and A1. To the south of it, you've got R75 MH and R90, both residential. To the east of it, you got residential again, some A1. That's going to be a little bit of agriculture, light agriculture in there. R75 MH and R90. To the west, same situation. You got A1, R75 MH. As far as major street plan, it shows it as a minor street for Union and Adams Street. Property was originally zoned A1 back in 1977 and got rezoned to R75 MH back in 1985. As far as any applicable regulations on the property, R75 MH doesn't allow or does not permit poultry or livestock on the property. I've also attached a copy of the adopted Ware County rezoning standards that should be in the packet with it. And the main issue that's going to be there is regarding, it's in, even if they change it to A1, they're still going to have some issue there regarding making sure that any stables or coops or whatnot are kept at least 100 foot away from the property line. So that's one of the concerns. This was actually brought before the Planning Commission last month, and it was denied unanimously by the Planning Commission.
It was denied.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody in favor of it? Anybody else in favor of it?
Can I make a correction on his sheet? Dustin, you have recommended action, approve request. That should be Planning Commission recommended denied.
Which one?
On the first page.
Make sure. Sorry, I dropped the thing. Sorry, I don't have a copy of that.
It's just the first agenda page.
Okay, yeah.
So, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, also I'd like to point out, even though if a zoning permits a use, it still doesn't give you the right to create a nuisance with your neighbors. So, if the animals are creating a nuisance with the neighbors, changing the zoning won't necessarily help that nuisance because it's still a nuisance. A nuisance is a nuisance. When you look at the county ordinance, it doesn't look if it's approved or not. It just looks, is it creating a smell? Is it, or what have you? So, even as a zoning request, if it was approved, then it still wouldn't allow them to have those animals if they're creating a nuisance, if you understand what I'm saying.
Is she here, Amanda?
And I was also going to mention there is currently ongoing work with our code enforcement regarding nuisances from neighbors on that property.
Okay. So she couldn't be here. From my understanding, she wanted to, after the public hearing was set, she wanted to move the public hearing day and time, or day, but, you know, we've already we'd already advertised it and everything, so that the owner couldn't be here today.
So she's not gonna be here.
Not that I'm aware of.
What about the current concern with the setbacks? I mean, if it's only an acre, you have to be 100 feet off your property line for structures. I mean, acres 208 by 208.
Right.
Don't have much room.
So you dead center of the property if you're 100 feet off.
Yeah.
So if it's a square. So that would be the concern that I would have as well.
Yeah, it basically puts it right around in this area.
Right here at the back porch.
If you're scooting back 100 foot from the property line, so it's right up against the house basically.
Does she live in that house?
She just wants some chickens out there.
She got chickens, she's got ducks.
Ducks and chicken.
So, and I'm not aware of what the code department is working on. I was just gonna kind of just enlighten you on that ordinance issue.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking there might be some kind of issues as far as building some kind of structure, having to abide by those setbacks, and
Yeah.
then it would cause another
situation.
the code would have to deal with
Yeah.
if we, doing that would be a concern.
Yeah.
So,
And I'll give you an example back when Harold Gwynn was chief of police. We wrote a gentleman a citation in an area that wasn't zoned for his chickens creating a nuisance. Because he's letting his chickens run loose, and he was, defecating on the guys' picnic tables and stuff. So just something to think about.
yeah.
I mean, it doesn't quite look like this currently. There's actually more animal housing that's been added to the back of the property on this side. Unfortunately, that's the most recent home here.
Okay.
But this at least gives you an idea of what the area around the property looks like. So.
Yeah. So the neighbors don't want her to have them there, or?
They've had issues with the animals getting loose.
Okay.
Think about the only place where you.
You can see some of them there at that time, so.
And several.
That's ducks and chickens and I guess some other.
Mm-hmm.
Price of chicken and eggs keep going up, oh, somebody liable to steal our chickens.
About the only place I can think of right off the top of my head is where the chickens have free range and you better not mess with them, it's fish stir. That's the kind of, I guess, motto or mascot or whatever, but they roam anywhere. And you better not mess
City
with
bird.
them.
Yeah.
Can I make a comment on this topic?
Yeah.
All right, so my name is Rayla Guy. I'm actually running for Commissioner of District 3. I did plan on speaking. However, being our representation is not here, I think someone should speak for us. So I'm actually very familiar with this case. I've attended the planning meeting where this was discussed, and I even did a ride along with Mr. Dave Hansen out to this property. There has been a lot of improvements. There is some more housing out there now. The current housing that's being built appears to be for their pet birds. They breed parakeets and stuff like that. Miss Amanda has a new fiance who used to be a pet store owner here in town. So he's always had animals like that. This brings up a good point, and Mr. Elmer was right, eggs are going up. Everything's gonna be expensive. My concern with this stuff is, in the county right now, there is no way that she would be allowed to have fowl or poultry. However, Waycross, the city of Waycross has an ordinance that allows for people who live in the city to have a certain amount of birds as long as they can follow the setbacks. I would love for Ware County to, in the sake of uniformity, maybe adopt those ordinances. So those ordinances are Section 1019 talks about the required distances for your poultry and stuff like that. They still do follow the, less than 25 fowl is 100 feet. Because at this point, they do not have the option to have chickens even for their personal egg consumption. I do believe it would be possible to have a very small coop, right against their home, but at the planning meeting, the chickens don't live in there all the time. They would be allowed to let them free range in the yard and then put them away at night. They cannot be housed by the property lines. So I would love for Ware County to look at a chicken ordinance per se to see what we can do to allow that, because it's becoming more popular where people do want to have chickens of their own. And the thing is, the people who are causing these nuisances, they're not following the rules anyway. So all of this, really helps the people who are trying to follow the rules. I do agree that this was probably a nuisance situation at first, although when we rode back there, when we curved the corner, Mr. Dave goes, all right, you're gonna see a bunch of birds. And we got back there and we did not see any birds out of their fence. So that was at least an improvement in my mind. I do think that people are trying to accommodate and, still live their life the way they want to by, then following the guidelines of the county. But I would love for you guys to look into something like that to allow the citizens in the county to have chickens. It's crazy to me that anyone in the city can, but if you live just outside of the county lines, you can't, depending on what your zoning is. So I would love for you guys to look at something like that. And that's basically all I have. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? Anybody oppose it? Is anybody opposed having the chickens out there? No, let's carry it over.
Mr. Chairman, if I may make one. James, I keep thinking about what you said, and I believe people in the county, they can have chickens, but this is, they can't have chickens at all?
Not in the residential zone areas.
Okay, in the residential zone area,
Right.
yeah, that's all, but I'm saying, in a certain area, they could have them.
In the ag area.
But in this case right here, it's not so much depriving them, this is just become a nuisance out there.
That's my understanding.
Yeah.
They were running free. But to answer that question, we have in the past, before I left the planning office, we did discuss briefly about adopting the language that the city has to allow chickens in some, limited number.
Right.
Of chickens in the residential areas. And Dustin and I has briefly discussed it to go back, and it just hasn't made it back to the agenda as of yet, so.
So I guess what this guy was saying was that, if you have like a limited number, say if it's 6, that you can have even in the city, as long as they're, caged up or either got a perimeter around them where they can't get out and go into other people's yards.
Yes, sir, and usually it's the roosters is what gives you the problem. Is they crow. And crow a lot, so that's usually what gives you the issue. If they're pinned up, it's roosters crowing at night and in the mornings.
So what?
In the mornings.
So what you're saying, you could have 6 hens, but you couldn't have a rooster.
Well, I mean, I don't know what the ordinances say. I don't know what the city has, but a lot of our complaints when I was downstairs for chickens wasn't chickens running loose, was roosters crowing. Is what a lot of is the noise.
So then somebody on the rooster, they could come and file a lawsuit, say you discriminate against my roosters. I mean.
Yeah. So, but I mean, honestly, that's your complaints. Is
Right.
Most of the time, your complaints are from the roosters crowing early in the morning, waking people up and so forth. But,
Okay.
Okay.
But they're gonna look at actually adopting what the city has so they can be, equal.
All right. Any more discussion on it? Carry it over. Okay. That all
That is it, Mr.
that's
Chairman.
all of them, ain't it? Okay. That's all the, public hearings, so hear a motion to close. the
So moved,
public
Mr.
hearing.
Chair.
Second.
Motion, second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we'll need about, what, 10 minutes? Come back to regular meeting. How much you need, clerk?
I need to change one thing on here.
10 minutes enough?
Delete it.
Okay. We'll come back in 10 minutes for the regular meeting.
Sounds good.